Hey, everybody, on this episode of Box Office Breakdown, there was more than meets the eye this weekend. What that more was just a really bad movie. I'll tell you more about that next.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's Box Office Breakdown.
Hey, kids and kidettes and just people that love movies. Welcome to Box Office Breakdown.
Right.
Of
Yes.
course, this is the show that looks back at the box office that was, and then we like to...
prognosticate.
Yay! I think we'll use that for a while now. We're
Love
like,
it.
yes, because,
I love
yeah.
it. About the box office that lie ahead. I'm one of your hosts, Frank Moran. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at HappyGoJackie.
And what's up? My name is Kari Lane. You can find me online at Kari D Lane. That's Karidlane. And we have a chat up, and I'm just getting my notes for the show because I was posting on Instagram our kind of behind the scenes. So that's another reason to follow on social media because we talk about all the cool things that we do here. Because we do cool things, right?
So many cool
Because
things.
we're so cool.
We're so cool, guys.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
cool.
Yeah.
And of course, folks, we would not be complete without the person that makes us look so well. Well, this is really no hope with this one. But it sounds even better, though. It is Neil Plumley, everybody.
Sorry, it took me a second
It's
to
okay.
click those buttons. I'm obviously here.
Hey,
in
as
the
long as
booth.
you click those buttons eventually.
Oh, well, there it is. My name is Neil Plumley. You guys, if you want to follow me, you can find me everywhere at the Neil Plumley, TheNeilPlumley. I have thoughts about movies, but mostly thoughts about movies.
Nice.
And as always, folks, you can like us on Facebook, give us those 5 stars on iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and don't just give 1 thumb up. Go ahead and give it 2 if you can.
Yay.
Yes. And feel free, as Kari mentioned, the chat is up and running, so hop in there, share your thoughts
Yes.
about movies in general or this past weekend's box office in particular.
Yep.
But yeah, we will jump right into our top 5, which happen to also be the subject of last weekend's box office bet. I'm not having good luck with these box office bets lately.
Not anymore. Tides have turned, man.
But you know what? I do my work. I get my done. I get my work done early. So
Yep.
I can,
Proud of you, Frank. Super proud of you.
that's right. That's right. So just doing my part. Tweeting out my accountability photo.
It's all good.
I'm still waiting for Kari Lane's to show up sometime. But,
Well, I did a different accountability thing because I went to my friend's play last night. So I went to the Hollywood Fringe Film Festival. Not film, sorry. It's plays. But his play highly involves Star Wars, so it's kind of movie related.
Oof.
Shout out to Desert Warrior and
right.
Ross.
All right.
You can see my photos on Instagram and Twitter.
Just I think you should take a moment just to apologize to the box office members, box
Nope.
office breakdown members. Just
No,
they're devastated.
I saw those numbers. I was like, oh, I am good. I'm good.
So, of course, Transformers the last night was the subject of our box office bet. It happened to do number 1 in the box office, pulled in $45.3 million, nowhere near the $75 million that I
Yeah.
predicted it was going to do. Neil came in with 68, and
I
the
said
winner.
50. So for any of y'all who were thinking like, oh, no, you lost, I had at least one of you reach out to me on Facebook. I'm like, no, I won. I said 50. And I thought I was going real low. So when I saw Frank's email this morning, I'm all, ooh, that was the first thing I looked at. I'm all, what's Transformers? 45. Good.
Yeah, it does have the distinction of having the lowest opening of any of the Transformers films.
Pretty bad.
And this is not a good film, folks.
Ouch.
For anybody that did see it, very frustrating. I was talking to Neil a little bit about it before the show started. We just had a little pre-show chat about the movies. This, I'm not a huge fan of just the world that they've created for the Transformers.
Okay.
Whether basically, have you seen any of the films?
I have. I think I saw all of them except this one.
Yeah. Just the idea that they're constantly being persecuted and hunted.
Sorry, real quick.
Yes.
Real quick, Sarah in the chat made a good point. So if any of you are new, what we do with our box office bet is for the upcoming week, there's one movie chosen by you, the viewer. So if you're new to this, at the end, depending on how many movies come out, we'll let you all pick what one we'll vote on. Sorry, not vote, but what we'll bet on. And what we do is we bet on how much money it's going to make. And the person who is the closest wins. The person who's the furthest away has to go see that movie.
That is true.
Yes.
Yes.
So, in case y'all didn't know.
And I lost.
So you went and saw
I went and saw Transformers the last night.
So yes, I've seen all of them except this new one.
I just don't like it's such a downer world that they've created.
True. Okay.
It's just like I'm tired of them being always persecuted and hunted, and everybody wants to destroy them. And there's way too many humans in these films for me. It's like Transformers. we've got so many comic books. The animated films.
Wasn't the cartoon more about them and like no people?
They've got personalities, wants, dreams, desires, just of their own. We get so little of that in these films, and way too much time focused on the humans. Like, I would love to not have any humans at all, and let's just focus on these Transformers because. I mean, you have zero. I mean, there's ones that I came back from the last film. I've got zero vested interest in any of them because I really don't know them. You don't get the time to really get to know them, other than just a few casual character quirks that they just quickly add in. You're like, oh, okay, this is more like the samurai guy. This is like the
Oh yeah, no, I totally thought that with the last one. I'm like, so you're a type. You're not really a character.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mark Wahlberg's back for this, and they do some stuff in this film where he's already said publicly that he's not coming back for the next Transformers film.
Right.
And yet, the way that they leave this film, there's a lot of unanswered questions about his character, exactly where it's up. And story-wise, it doesn't treat it like, hey, this is his farewell. For all you know, like, hey, he's going to be coming back. He still plays an important part of the mythology going forward. But no. So there's that the action is disappointing. The story is sloppy. It's a bad film from beginning to end.
I do have another side question on that. We've had a couple people ask on how much it made, and were you looking at? I know we get our numbers online, but were you looking more at the 5-day or the weekend?
It's just the 3-day, so it's just the weekend. So basically, it made closer to 69, I believe, when you counted in the 5-day. But we just went in for the weekend here.
We do everything with just the weekend anyway.
Yes.
So. It's fair to all the other movies.
There you go. So over the course of the 3 days, it did 45. If you add in the 5-day, it's going to bump it up closer to 69.
Yeah.
But for our purposes,
which still makes you kind of far. Then I'm 19. Oh, you're closer if it was that, but
yeah.
Good question. Is his daughter in this one? I don't think so. From the trailer, right? No?
I mean, it's not really much of a spoiler. She's on a phone. You never see her. You hear her voice. And a phone conversation, but that is it.
Because I think there's a conversation just in the trailer where he's talking to the other young girl. Who is she? Good? She looks cool in the trailer.
Yeah, she's not in the film that much, though. Not as much as the trailer would make you think.
Because I'm like, she seems cool. Can we have her be more of a character? Because his daughter was so lame.
The younger girl.
Yeah.
Because there's two women.
No,
in
the
there.
young girl.
Yeah, so younger girl's not in it as much as you would think.
Because she's so cool in the trailer. Yeah. She's kind of like, I want to fight and I want to be there, and she's like crying and like, I'm trying to be tough, and I'm like, I want to see this character.
Yeah, she seems awesome. I would like to see that movie.
Yeah. No. Damn.
And just like that, it is. It's just rough. And Neil and I were talking about this. Is like for a film that's Optimus Prime is one of the big ticket Transformers. He very rarely shows up in these films until like the very end.
Right.
And he's always gone for like large patches of the time, and then he takes off to go fight the bad guys, and then you never see him for like long stretches of time, and then he just shows up when it's most convenient to save everybody's bacon, and you're like, what is this? It's not a good film at all. And
Bummer.
Neil, you were mentioning something to me. Perhaps you'd like to share with the audience in terms of posting this film.
Oh yeah, well I heard from a source who got it from his sources that the film was produced by a Chinese financial firm, and they turned Michael Bay's 3 months of post runway into 3 weeks. And when they made apparently when they made like when they finished cutting a scene, they would say, okay, that's it, we're moving on. And when Bay would be like, no, I want to go back and recut that scene because it's something we changed later, they would say, no, you can't do that. And apparently he was throwing tantrums and like throwing stuff in offices, trying to get them to change their mind, and probably the only way he knows how. And they just wouldn't budge on it. Not only that, but the composer apparently sat down for 52 hours straight scoring the movie because of the time crunch. And I was mentioning to Frank, this seems like a distinct difference between traditional Western filmmaking, specifically in regards to post-production, and some of the things I've heard about Eastern filmmaking. Not to say that they would generally in the East bully their directors into doing stuff quickly, but that they just it seems like out here in the Western Hemisphere, like in Los Angeles and everything, where it seems like they put a lot more stock into post-production than they do in some of the more Eastern film markets. So I think there's just a big I don't really think they saw eye to eye very much.
Sure.
And I didn't see the movie, but I asked Frank if maybe that would have shed some light on how this movie turned out, and he's saying it probably would have sucked either way.
No, because it would that production time, or the post time, did not affect the story.
So bad.
It's just a bad story from right from the
Okay.
get-go. Like John Turturro's back, but for something that just really is like inconsequential. Like it really, like, why is he here? I don't understand. Anthony Hopkins, for his credit, he could have phoned it in. Could have just been like, I will take this paycheck and just run with it. But he probably gives at least the most entertaining performance. It is a bonkers Anthony Hopkins performance, but it's at least interesting to watch.
Okay.
But man, I can't see what if Paramount and Hasbro want to keep making. They've already talked about the next movie in the line. They've also doing a Bumblebee spin-off film. They've got to look at the numbers for this weekend, and sir, internationally doing great over there, but just domestically, it's not good. It's like this really needs some
kind of
TLC.
burnt out.
Well, burnt out. I think it just needs better storytelling.
Sure.
And
That too.
I feel like if they got to make people care about these characters, and I'm specifically talking about the Transformers. We just see so little of them that you never really get a chance to root for them, and those are the big ticket characters that you want to come and see.
Yes.
So yeah, I really hope that they look at this and Paramount says, you know what, we really got to invest more in them and less humans, please, less humans. Oh, the humans! They're just like long patches of time where you're like, I'd love to see a robot. Please, just bring me a robot.
Well, speaking of no humans.
Coming in at number 2 is Cars. Look at that sweet segue from Kari Lane. Coming in at number 2, it was basically pretty much neck and neck with Wonder Woman and Cars.
Oh, wow.
They're pretty much like, at least right now, we'll find out what the final numbers say, but for right now, they're pretty much neck and neck. We'll see what comes up, but it's a hair's difference between them. Cars 3 made $25.1 million, and Wonder Woman was just right there as well, 25.1.
Nice.
Yeah, so I feel like Cars 3 maybe eked out a couple more dollars than Wonder Woman, but it's still really good. In fact, I went and saw, I was so sour after Transformers. I was like, well, I'll watch a little bit of Wonder Woman. And went back in and stayed for more of it than I thought. The last fight scene is still terrible. But there.
So did you just walk into a movie?
I sauntered. Let's not just walk. I sauntered in. But
That's all right. I've done that too.
It's still very packed.
Yeah.
And there was applause like after the big final battle with Ares.
Oh, nice.
I was like, guys, really? That is not a really applause-worthy moment. But okay, I will respect your.
I think it's interesting if when you go to a movie or not, and people applaud or cheer or something. That's kind of viewer question. Comment down below. I'd be curious what you guys think about that. Is if you're in a movie, do you want to like yay or like yes, I love that moment or something, or I feel it often. You kind of get the vibe of the audience you're with. Because I've been there and you're like, oh, we're all not making much noise today. Okay, cool. And you kind of don't do much. But then I've been with ones that's like, oh, it's okay. We make, it happens a little bit more. I know I've definitely had like the yes kind of something. But then it's kind of funny if the one person kind of does that and then everybody kind of laughs. Or I've said it before, but on like Don't Breathe, we all had a reaction. The entire audience had the same reaction to one part, and that was kind of funny because we all had the same like, like sound that happened.
Yeah.
So that's kind of fun, and I think people more cheer on opening weekends or like premieres, like if it's at a film festival, obviously, or if it's an opening weekend. I think like if it's a few weeks in. People may or may not, but I know it's different around the world too. Because some places, either don't bother people around you. Depends on what kind of movie too. Because I've been with other audiences where it is more boisterous responses to it, and you're just like, oh, that's what we're doing. Okay, cool. I'll cheer along too. But then I think when you get the okay from the rest of the audience, and you feel more like, all right, yay, because otherwise you don't want to be that one person who's like, all right, I'm sorry.
Didn't mean to.
Yeah.
The only time I've ever done anything was it Fast 5, the moment where they go off the side of the railroad tracks, off that big drop in the car into the water. I started a slow clap after that, and then people joined in. That was the only time I ever did something. It was just all right.
Nice,
that seems so bonkers. But that was it.
Okay, I like Alvin. I'm all for cheering, but applause is weird. I think it depends on how you cheer. I mean, applause. Sorry, it depends on how you're like if it's a quick yeah. Like a quick Yes, I like that moment. Sarah said cheering in the at a movie is awesome. Yeah, I think it depends. Oh, there we go. Sarah also said, when I was at Force Awakens for the first time, the entire theater gasped at the Millennium Falcon reveal at the same time, and I remember that. Yeah, it's fun when you get that thing with the rest of your audience. Like, you really have that communal shared experience. So there are some movies where I'm like, I do want to see opening weekend. I want a packed audience. So you get that vibe.
I guess if I had my preference, I would just see if I walked into a room at theater and it was just empty, I'd be happy with that. I don't need to have a large crowd with me.
I do at home. Absolutely. I am on the Sense8 panel, and we've had a couple people be like, I'd want to watch it with you because of how we react to it. I have definitely been like, yes! Oh, like sitting on the edge of my seat, like, oh, come on. And like actually out loud.
Wow.
But it kind of depends on the show, but that show just has some moments where you're just like, because we're also doing one at a time too. It's a very binge-worthy show, but we're doing one at a time. And,
I watched Houdini and Doyle with you, and I never once heard you get that excited.
Well, that's here. We can't be that excited here.
Oh, we can't?
There's too many. We've had some stuff where it's loud. I've had cheers here in the studio. So if you all haven't seen any behind-the-scenes photos of AfterBuzz, giving you the inside scoop. I'm pointing out to outside this room, there's this wall of viewing stations, and depending on the show, we would get together and we'll watch beforehand. Depends on if you watch it at home or not, and availability. But anyway, it is fun because there can be that shared communal reaction to that as well. And it's funny when you laugh out loud or do some kind of noise, and then they're like, shh, you're like, sorry. But
didn't mean to get so loud about my enthusiasm for our program. Coming at number 4 this week was 47 Meters Down, the Mandy Moore shark film. Another $7.4 million, a big drop between 3 and 4. There's, at least like an $18 million drop between the two. And rounding out the top 5, All Eyes on Me, the Tupac Shakur biopic.
Still holding on.
Yeah, $5.8 million. Look at that. So basically, folks, internationally, though, as we're talking about Transformers, it is going to do, everybody predicted it was going to do big numbers internationally. Yeah. And so far, that's proving to be the case. It is on track to the top opening at the international box office. As of Friday estimates came in, the unofficially in Saturday in China, it puts the Michael Bay's pick at about $93 million so far in China. Domestically, of course, it's on a track for about as we figured out, $45 million for the 3-day, and it's looking at about a $63.9 million for the 5-day. So again, internationally, I feel like that's the same thing with what was the other film I did? Oh, like The Mummy, much better internationally than it's done domestically. But I feel like if they want this franchise to have legs, they got to get it together. But coming up this week, though, folks, we've got instead of just one film to worry about, we've got 3 for your box office bet considerations.
Good. I was gonna say, I'm like, wait. Those are my reactions to this.
Right. We have a film that opens up on Wednesday, getting to jump a little early for a film that Neil already has his tickets ready to go. Seeing it at what, 8:45, Neil?
8:45 on Wednesday evening.
For Baby Driver?
I'll be going to see Baby Driver.
Nice.
I'm very excited for this movie.
That's right. It'll be opening up in 3,100 screens from Sony and Columbia. Friday, though, we'll have 2 films coming out to join Baby Driver. We'll have Despicable Me 3 from Universal, opening up in over 4,350 screens. And The House from Warner Brothers with Will Ferrell and Amy Poehler and Jason Mantzoukas, who I love, over 3,000 screens. So
good numbers.
Yeah. So feel free to start chiming away in the the chat to let us know which film you'd like us to do the box office bet on. In the meantime, though,
I'm debating of actually verbally saying my reaction because I said sounds, but I didn't say what those were for. To be like. Maybe I don't want to let you know which one. I'm like, yeah.
No, don't.
I'm not going to.
Don't tip your hand because you know that chat room.
There's one of them.
They can sense. They can sense what's going on.
They're like, oh boy. What was it? Side note: Alvin said something in the chat, something like, "Well, they can't hear your applause. It's not live theater." I'm like, I know, but it's you expressing your excitement and then also sharing it with the solidarity of your fellow viewers. So. And then Sarah also pointed out for watching Sense8 and Winona. See, Winona, we react to. I think it depends on the show of like what happens in it.
Yeah.
Like Winona had a cheerleading thing today, and me and Alexis were like, "Oh my gosh!" and like get all excited. And maybe it depends. Maybe Frank, you just didn't provide an environment where I felt comfortable. No, I'm just kidding.
Got it. Message received, Kari Lane. Message received.
I'm
All
kidding.
Right. No, I got it. I don't
know.
Clean up your act there, Frank.
All right.
Get Kari a little bit more comfy.
I am the murderer of fun. We all know that about me.
Yeah, you're just like, dude, this sucks. I hate it.
Yeah.
Like, that's your reaction. No, you liked Houdini and Doyle.
Like, stop enjoying yourself, Kari, and just watch the show very somberly.
I have part of my interview with him on my reel. I'm working on my reel, guys. So if you like my shows, it'll be online soonish.
Kari Lane has already told me that because she actually would like to get hired, she has excised me from any of her
No,
reel.
you're totally in my reel, man.
No,
He
that's a
is.
lie.
He is.
That
Don't
a
listen
lie.
to him. He's
That
a
is
liar.
That is a lie. I saw what was on the cutting room floor, and there's a whole big bunch of stuff of me, and there's like, yep, so.
And in my book, I think any reel needs more Frank.
Oh, God, no.
Oh, he's in it.
Absolutely
he's in
not.
So much Frank.
it. Right?
No, you need zero of me.
It was perfect. It's a split screen, so he's on it with me. It's
That's
not even a
fantastic.
cut.
Even on my reel, there's nothing of me on my reel. It's of everybody else that I've done stuff with. So that's all right. It's all Kari Lane. Yeah. Yep, that's all it is. My reel is basically Kari Lane's reel. So.
Well, while people are voting, I wanted to plug because I posted it online.
Yes.
So I have both of my short films online. If you have been following for a little while, I did a film competition called the Collaboration Filmmakers Challenge. I made 2 films. I worked on a total of 9 films, short films. Let's clarify, short films. And but still, it's like. Those are still quite a bit. And all of them, if you go to YouTube and look up Collaboration Filmmakers Challenge, they have all films that were submitted listed, which is fantastic. I didn't realize that. So you can see everything that got submitted. So my film, there's 2 titles for it on YouTube. I think both are available to search that way. So that's why I'm like, there's technically 2 titles. One is How to Get Your Protein, and the other title is Cannibal Katie. So look those up. It's a short horror comedy, that one. And then the other one is a documentary called Dad. And then the one where I did voiceover work is called Super Idiots, but that one is a little trickier to find. So I will make sure to put that on Twitter. But thank you so much to those of you who followed the link that I posted on Twitter and went to watch it. Really appreciate it. And so, yeah. Did you watch it yet? I linked you.
And
Neil,
messaged me?
I
yes.
sent it to you too.
Yes,
I know.
was excited.
I saw. I haven't seen it, but I saw it.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Because my horror one's under 6 minutes. Just saying.
We can find Neil. We can find 6 minutes in our day, right?
I'll just leave you guys on autopilot right now.
Yeah, he's like,
come
I'll be
back in
right
about
back.
6 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, fine. I got it. When next we
You can
meet,
do it
Kari
later.
Lane, I will have seen it, and I will.
Something kind of cool with the voiceover one. They're looking to do more, so that's exciting.
That's awesome for you. Yes,
I'm excited to do that because that was fun to be that character. Thank you very much for Sarah for watching and enjoying both of them. Yay! Thank you.
Oh, look at that.
I think there was something else. Oh, and then I know some of you from way back when were following. Speaking of followed the horror movie I worked on back last year, October. I saw I don't know if I mentioned, but I saw a rough cut of it. None of the special effects have been put on, but overall it looks really good, really solid, and I will keep you updated on that. So right now they have like the rough cut that they're going to show to studios to try to get it sold.
Very cool.
Yeah, so I was the assistant director on that one in case people are like, what are you talking about? So it's called Followed, and there's stuff. Yep. Anyway.
Oh, look at that. Kari Lane, look at her. Just her fingers on the pulse of the film industry. Mm-hmm. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we get together with doing our top 5 for next week or doing our box office bet, we like to do a little box office rewind, looking at somebody's career that's involved in one of the films that's coming up this weekend. And I decided, why don't we look back at our close personal friend, the person that really got us into the industry, who's opened so many doors for all 3 of us. And that's Mr. Steve Carell. I mean, I know Neil and he share a very close friendship. Neil, if you want to expound on that a little bit.
Yeah, well, I first met Steve. He was walking out of an improv, and I was walking into a laundromat in West Hollywood, back when I lived in the area. And he knocked over all of my clothes that I was carrying in my hands. Didn't say a word to me. Just looked at me with these big... They're big and beady, his eyes. It's weird. They're scary, but they're also like all enveloping. And he told me to get lost, punk. And
Are you for reals?
And since then, I'd reached out to him, and he was just joking around, and we've gotten coffee a couple times, and he went to my birthday party.
Right. Yeah. I was gonna be like, Neil, are you telling the truth?
Neil just opened up about a part of his life, and
whatever.
you just sit there and you just rained on it.
A little bit. Side note, Sky Patterson. No, Followed is not on YouTube yet. They check them out on Twitter and Facebook. Just be like Followed Movie. And I think the website is areyoufollowed.com. I think, though they have some short videos of one of our characters doing his horror show that's within the movie, so those are online. No, I only laughed too because I'm like, well, I did work on The Incredible Burt Wonderstone as an extra a couple times, so I'm like, I saw him there, and Jim Carrey, but whatever. No, but it's LA. I could totally believe, Neil. I could totally believe your story was real. That's why I was like, wait. I'm beady eyes through the camera at you if anybody's just listening.
Yeah, he told me to get lost, punk.
Wait, for reals?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
There you go.
See, that's the thing, though. I'm like, it's LA. It could happen.
It did happen. Look at that.
It did.
It did happen.
For those of you still listening, I'm glaring at both of them now.
It did.
But I did totally, I haven't seen it yet, but I was totally an extra on Incredible Burt Wonderstone, so I'd be curious to see if you can see me on some of it.
Oh, I should go back. I've only seen that film once. I felt that at the time I felt that was enough.
Probably. Yeah. But, yeah.
Oh,
anyway.
So of course we're gonna look at Steve Carell's. Of no surprise, I figure his voice work really takes it high. So we're gonna be looking back. Of course, Despicable Me is his #1 film. So we're gonna be looking at the non-Despicable Me related films for Mr. Steve Carell, or basically any ones that he did the voice work for. We're just gonna be looking at his live action films for his top 5. So number 5 starts off with Anchorman 2: The Legend Continues. From 2013 in Paramount Studios, $26.2 million. It was fine.
Which one?
Anchorman 2.
Yes. I didn't like the first one, so I didn't.
Yeah, don't decide to go see the second one.
Anchorman 2 was not very good, I don't think.
Yeah.
I like the first one a lot, though. I saw that. You know what? Funny story, real quick. I saw that in theaters with my friend, and we laughed so hard. And then when it was coming out into video, I was telling my girlfriend at the time, like, "Oh my God, that movie was so funny. I never laughed that hard in my life." And she's like, "Great, maybe I'll rent it with my parents." and at the time I was like, "Yeah, sure, that should be fine," because this was before the time, this was right at probably the apex moment where movies started to do an unrated release. And if you remember, Anchorman almost was a purely unrated home video release. And I actually had to look and try and find the rated version of it, which is the one that they showed in theaters. So they rented it, and she was texting me that night, like, "I can't believe you would tell me to rent this horrible movie. My parents turned it off." And they're like good, God-fearing people. So they hated me so much after that. And then I told her, like, I really don't remember it being that bad. Like, honestly, I don't think it was that. I mean, of course it was a little bad at times, and then she had to apologize because she realized that they had rented the unrated version. I was like, all right, well then, yeah, you definitely need to apologize.
Well, I know, for the first one, there was I remember when they came out for home video release or home DVD release, there was an actual second film that came with it from all the extra stuff that they shot. So they cut out of the first one. They kind of built a whole second story.
That's cool.
Where there's I think an attack on a dam or something with terrorists and stuff that they get involved with as well. A completely second story in there.
I just remember being in theater and nope.
No.
First one, no.
Really?
Yep.
I don't know, for some reason just that...
But, I mean, I'll side note, because it's not on here at all, I did really like 40-Year-Old Virgin, and that's not on here at all.
No.
That one was really funny. So that's one that I'm like, yes, that's funny.
All right.
But anyway.
Coming in number 4 for him was, of course, its predecessor, Anchorman: The Legend of Ron Burgundy, from the Kari Lane absolutely despises. But I
wouldn't say despise it, I just didn't like it.
Really? I remember listening to the Afternoon Delight over and over again after that film. I don't know.
No.
Number 3 for Steve Carell, Evan Almighty, the follow-up to Bruce Almighty.
Oh, it was okay.
It was all right.
Yeah, it was yeah, exactly.
Made $31.1 million in its opening weekend from 2007. Number 2 was Get Smart from Warner Brothers back in 2008. $38.6 million.
I didn't catch that one.
It's fine. Did you see it, Neil?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see it in theaters. I saw it at home, but it wasn't bad.
Okay.
Yeah,
It was all right. I mean, Steve Carell definitely knows how to he definitely has this little niche for his physical humor that he does in movies, and I thought that he really nailed it in this one. Not to say that that was able to carry the movie. I thought Anne Hathaway did well. It was just but it was like a throwaway kind of sort of whatever movie.
Yeah. I know we're not doing voices, but Over the Hedge is so good.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I've never seen it.
It's actually really good.
No.
Yeah,
it is.
She's right, Frank. You should watch
See?
it.
It is. If you guys haven't seen Over the Hedge, it's really good. It was very funny.
It's probably better than Storks.
How dare you?
It's very funny.
Take
I
that
remember
back.
really enjoying it, but the other thing I like about it is...
I'm just kidding, Frank. I did catch the end of Storks this weekend on TV, though. That was nice.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. You were saying, Kari Lane?
I really liked it, but the thing about it that's funny is Hoodwinked came out shortly after, which also has a squirrel character, which also both movies involve the squirrel having caffeine, and I highly relate to both of those moments because very high energy person, and if you're listening, you could probably be like, yeah. Not the coffee, because I don't like coffee, but so there's a moment in Over the Hedge that I don't want to spoil for you, but the squirrel gets coffee, and it's amazing.
Spoil it. It's fine.
Okay, fine.
I'll probably never see this movie, so go ahead.
He gets coffee, and he goes so fast that everyone is in slow motion, but he's actually at normal speed at that time. Otherwise, he's zipping around all over the place. So, like, let's give him coffee so he can get somewhere faster. And it's very amusing, and I like that. And then in Hoodwinked, if you remember, they give the squirrel coffee, and then they record his interview, and then they play it on slow-mo, and then it's at normal speed. Anyway. I like... Okay, that's not on there too, but yes, Sarah, good point. Crazy Sexy Love, that was a really good movie as well. And yeah, Hoodwinked was just okay. Oh, Crazy Stupid Love, yes.
Never saw that one either.
That one was
With
good.
Julianne Moore and it was Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone.
Yep.
And Ryan Gosling's abs. Think about that.
No, he's fine. I just feel he's often very dead-faced. Like, it's just a very flat reactions a lot of the time. Like, his just... I mean, there's people, like, I don't feel as much going on, like, behind the eyes sometimes. So with him, it just... I mean, he's attractive man, of course, but I just don't... I'm like,
What about Driver? Did you like him in Driver?
I didn't see Driver.
Did you see Driver, Neil?
You mean Gosling?
Yes.
I think that was just Drive.
Or Drive, yeah.
I saw on record that I like the first half of that movie, and the last half sort of falls apart for me.
Okay.
That's on record somewhere? Where can we find that?
Yeah, it's actually in the it's in the library.
Oh, all right.
Frank, we keep it there with the records.
Fantastic.
I felt like it was shot beautifully. Definitely, I thought the most beautifully shot movie of the year. The score was good, but it didn't really grasp my attention by the end of it. It sort of petered out, and I didn't like it that much.
I liked his role in the Crazy Stupid Love. That one was fun. I like him with that. I haven't seen Drive either.
Well, Sky Patterson in the chat says that I like intelligent animated films, not dumb ones. So don't give me your Over the Hedge.
You haven't seen it yet, so you don't know. It's very good.
You have to get hit by a truck to know it hurts, Kari.
Okay.
That's neither here nor there. Coming in at number one for Steve Carell in terms of box office, a film that he has a brief part, but I feel like it still was fun in his limited role on that, was Bruce Almighty from Universal back in 2003, $67.9 million. Not a bad movie.
I like the first one, definitely, absolutely. Bruce Almighty was fun, but I actually don't really remember his role in it. But
he played the reporter, and of course, then in Evan Almighty, he becomes government running for he's a senator or representative, one of the two. So as we're talking about Ryan Gosling, though, of course, we've got the new Blade Runner film coming out too later this year.
Yep.
Are you excited about that?
I feel they're classic, well done, amazing movies that I know I enjoy. But for some reason, I haven't, latched onto. So, Blade Runner, I know is good. But I feel I need to, rewatch it. Because I'm not, oh, my gosh, the best is, blah, like people do. Which I think is cool. And I think it's awesome when you feel that way about a movie. But I was like, I feel I need to rewatch it. I think I've only seen it, once or twice, though. So
it's been a long time since I watched that movie.
I mean, I'm excited because it's not exactly a remake. right?
No,
it's more a continuation, which I'm happier with that. Do that. Keep it going.
As the director says, we're going to finally get the answer to the question if Decker's a replicant or not.
Yeah.
Neil, have you been thirsting for the answer to that question all these years?
No, because I sort of thought that they covered it in the first one, that he was. I think it was in the director's cut, right, where they teased it. There was like he had that little unicorn origami figure that the other detective made him.
Good old Edgar James Olmos.
Yeah, and he makes those figures for replicants, like when they're interviewing them or something. And so it was sort of like he didn't overtly say it, but it was like sort of like an understood thing.
But that's not enough for some people. We need a definitive answer. And I guess this film is going to give it to us.
Yep. Thanks, Jimbo Slice, for agreeing. I'm like, yep, same of like, it's, there are movies that you're just like, it's really good, but you just, or you saw it the wrong time, like you saw it too late or too old or too young where you just didn't get it.
It didn't quite latch onto you like the ways, like if you're in that sweet spot of seeing a film.
Like one that everybody, that's come up more than once too, is like Princess Bride. I don't think I saw that when I was supposed to. So I'm just like, I like it, but like I know almost no quotes from that the way everybody can quote. I'm also not good with movie quotes. I'm not like, let me quote the whole movie for you. I'm more visual. Like I will remember exactly what a scene looks like and what people are wearing and what it like details. But what they say, I'm like, what quotes are these?
Give me one quote from Jerry Maguire.
Oh, isn't that you had me at hello? But that one's.
Look at that.
But see, those are ones when they're repeated outside of when it's made fun of essentially the movie, and then that's the quote used.
Yes.
Like you have Forrest Gump on your shirt. That one's also there's things taken out of that and put in other pop culture. So. But if there were other quotes that aren't as shared, I'd be like, I don't know.
Okay.
But anyway.
All right. Neil, how will you be there opening weekend? Much like you have your tickets early for Baby Driver for Blade Runner.
I'm not really like jumping at the gates as much as I am for Baby Driver as I am for Blade Runner. But that's not to say that I won't try to see it opening weekend. It's a little distance off, so I don't know like
quite some time.
Yeah, I don't know what my timing's going to be like, but I would hope that I would be.
It's October. I'm excited. Halloween and all the theme parks. That's my jam.
Well, we're getting closer.
Yes.
I feel right now I can't really think of anything else than Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yes, I'm excited for that one.
They did some early screenings for critics. The social media embargo was lifted, so it seems like positive so far. Yeah. So, although, I mean, I've heard various different things about Michael Keaton's character, the Vulture. So I've heard that he's kind of like, whatever. And then I've heard that he's right next to like Loki, maybe even better than Loki in terms of Marvel villains. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to see when everyone sees the film and kind of decides for themselves. So what that is going to be.
When does that one come out again?
July 7th.
Okay.
7th.
So right after 4th of July weekend.
Yes.
Sweet.
Cannot wait.
I think it's interesting that Keaton was Batman and then parodied, sort of parodied himself as a post-Batman actor in Birdman, and now is in Spider-Man as a Birdman.
Yep,
That's true.
Right. No, totally. And then if you want to also explain for the accountability what you guys have been doing of showing that you've gone to the theater, by the way, for anybody who's new and hasn't followed you on social media.
That's right. A good reason to follow Kari, Neil, and myself is that at least for Neil and myself, since we've been
I
doing
haven't done it yet.
Yes, we will post a little accountability photo. So photo of either our movie ticket or maybe the screening time sign in front of the auditorium that you're going to be going and watch this film. To let the rest, and then we'll tweet each other to let like, hey, you know what? I'm going to taking care of business, going to see this film. Just to let you know, we're trying to keep our box office bet on the up and up.
Yeah. No, I think it's great.
Yeah, and someday maybe we'll see one from Kari Lane.
I know, right?
But if she's on this hot streak like she's been, it won't be anytime soon.
Oh, Frank, it'll be decades before we see one from her.
Well, I was gonna say Anime Expo's coming up, and then it's Comic-Con, and then I'm doing a trip. So.
Yeah, so it could be a while. But so basically, Kari Lane is right now telling you that you'll never see.
So at the end of August. No.
Great, guys. It's gonna be a long time. Just show us one of the when you watch it at home for some of the ones that you.
I was thinking that I'm like I need to get the DVD and have it at home and be like, look.
Of course, the votes are still going out, and you continue to keep voting for the box office bet with Baby Driver, Despicable Me 3,
What's
or
our
The
votes?
House.
I think it was Baby Driver.
Yeah, all right. Before we do that final tally, though, we're going to do our top 5 for next week. So, as I mentioned, we've got Baby Driver in 3,100 screens, Despicable Me in 4,350 plus, and The House is in over 3,000 screens this coming weekend. So, I feel like for sure, I don't feel like it's any easy to say that 47 meters down and All Eyes on Me will both be saying farewell to the top 5.
That's pretty safe.
I actually want to go with Despicable Me 3 being number 1, if only because that franchise is huge, big following. Cars did so well, similar idea. So,
well, I'm thinking it's going to be more interesting in terms of Cars 3 and Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman's holding on so strong.
True. Be like, where
coming
they
in
go
next week, do you feel like Wonder Woman is still, because one of those, either Cars 3 or Wonder Woman, is probably going to get bumped off the list?
Oh.
Because I feel like I think
unless The House doesn't make top 5.
I think The House will.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to make top 5. It's not going to do number 1. Probably not. Maybe not number. Well, I mean, Transformers is going to have a steep
Chat room
drop.
is going. Yep, Despicable Me 3 is number 1. I agree. I'm gonna go with Despicable Me 3 is number 1. I think Transformers will stay on there. I don't think it's gonna drop drastically.
I think domestically, I bet you it's more than a 50% drop. I bet you more than 55% drop.
Okay, I'll wait for you to say your prediction then.
I feel like that's gonna go. So if that's, I feel like it'll be Despicable Me 3. Mm-hmm. I think it's gonna be The House at number 2. I will. Neil, how do you feel about Baby Driver? What do you think?
I think it's going to do well. I've seen a lot of. I mean, of course, I've been looking for a lot of stuff for it, but I've seen a lot of bus ads. I've seen a lot of social media stuff. It's all over, like the sponsored ads on Twitter and Facebook for my mobile device. My personal, I think my top 5 is going to be Despicable Me, Baby Driver, House, Transformers, and Wonder Woman.
Ooh.
I mean, I could see Cars dropping off only because of Despicable Me 3.
You know what, Neil? I agree with you.
Woo!
I'm going to go with, though I think Wonder Woman and Cars might be like, yeah.
Yeah, it could honestly go either way,
Yeah.
but I think, Cars was 2 weeks after Wonder Woman, right? Or was it 1 week after?
2 weeks.
2 weeks after, and it's already had a drop close to, I mean, like, Wonder Woman's really holding on.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if Cars keeps dropping like it has been,
Right.
I don't think it's preposterous to think that Wonder Woman that it'll drop below Wonder Woman in this week coming up.
Binge It agrees with us of Despicable Me 3, then Baby Driver, Transformers, House. Oh, no, wait, they put House, we put House at 3, yeah?
Yeah.
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 So they switched Transformers and House and then Wonder Woman. I think that's also a very possible one of, like, shift.
Yeah, but I feel like Transformers is going to plummet because...
Well, that's why we kind of had it for.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Neil said it, I just kind of stole it and agreed, but yeah.
Look at that. So yeah, I feel like that. I'm liking that little lineup there. I like this kind of group work.
Yeah,
where
we're all
okay.
I
Yeah,
disagree with Neil.
Yeah.
Hey, I can't think of what's going on. Hey Neil, what do you think? And then I
Hey,
just give you
we've
the
all
answer.
done that though. Everybody's kind of been like, I like that. That's a good list. All right.
That's
Yep,
right.
same.
You know?
Yeah, that's a good point.
No reason to be
We just
contrarian.
can't. We don't do the bet that way. So wait. If we all think Baby Driver's 2, Baby Driver seems to be the bet. So that will be an interesting what we think it will get.
Oh man! So is that?
Yes, Baby Driver races past the competition to win the vote. Thank you,
Oh,
Alvin. Yay
Alvin.
for puns. I
Nice
love
one,
it.
Alvin. Very
that.
good.
Yes.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the box office bet.
Okay. So we all think it's number.
As Kari explained earlier in the episode, basically we're all going to vote on what we think the opening box office weekend total, the 3-day. So, of course, Baby Driver's opening on Wednesday. We're only going to be factoring in the Friday through Sunday numbers for this. But what it'll do over those 3 days, whoever gets closest gets to be prognosticator or prognosticators for the week. The loser, of course, will have it be seeing this film. I feel like this is definitely a case where it's, not the win or lose going to be seeing this film.
Oh yeah, well, I do want to see this one too.
Soon?
Yeah. Ken Jack says 35 for Baby Driver. Okay. Adelia, this is a bet I'd love to lose, right? I know that's not a bad one. Albin puts it at 25. Oh, man, I kind of had a number that I'm like...
I got a number.
Well, hold on one second
hold on.
here. I want to look up one thing just to add to this information here.
Wow, Emmanuel says Despicable Me, then Transformers, Baby Driver, Wonder Woman, and then The House. Okay.
Come here, you.
Ooh, Sardrew says 20s. That's kind of cheating. It's not enough specific. Delia goes with 22. I want to say it's Jason's movie channel says 40.
Yeah, and you gotta remember, Baby Driver still has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
So, just
What were
looking
you
at,
looking up?
I just want to look kind of curious, like Edgar Wright's openings here.
Oh, sure. And?
So basically, for 4 of his openings right here, that highest one, 10.6 was for Scott Pilgrim back in 2010. Then we had 8.8 for The World's End in 2013, 5.8 for Hot Fuzz in 2007.
Wow,
and
that's all it made?
3.3 for Shaun of the Dead back in 2004.
Albin says Edgar Wright does not open movies big, though. But
That's
this
true.
one, I agree with Neil. It's had a lot of online buzz for a while now. And, you know...
Man, I
might be high then, but still. My number, that is.
Looking at these box office numbers, I'm going to revise mine. I'm gonna flip The House and Baby Driver. I feel like Baby Driver will come in 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go that way.
Sure.
So, just neither here nor there. But so that'll, man. So his highest opening, 2010, Scott Pilgrim, 10.6. And I feel like of the two between Baby Driver and Scott Pilgrim, I mean, even though Scott Pilgrim way underperformed what the studio expected, I feel like culturally, I feel like
Car chase movie. People are excited.
Yeah, and look at the cast, too.
Yes.
You have Spacey, Ham, Bernthal. Freaking everyone's in that movie.
Yep. Wow, Brian says it's only going to make 15.
Yeah, I could see that. All right, so let me pull this up here. All right. One last thing here. Okay, so
Emmanuel, Ansel? Do you mean Edgar? I thought it was Edgar. Wait.
It's Ansel.
Oh,
He's the
sorry, I'm reading
male
that
lead.
weird. Yes. Yes. Okay. Eye candy. Yep.
the curious thing is where you think Despicable Me is going to go.
Right? Yes.
Over under 75 million.
Under.
Under.
Think so?
Yeah. Cars just did 50.
Yeah.
And that's the big Pixar this year.
Well, yeah, but it's also not one of Pixar's, I mean, merchandise-wise, one of the hugest brands. But I feel like in terms of the films, not one of its premier brands, especially coming off that
Despicable Me?
second one. No, the Cars franchise, or Pixar.
Sure.
I feel like if you're ranking the Pixar films,
and they had a
Cars
Minions
franchise,
movie too, so.
Yeah, I mean, which was kind of a
Yeah.
But I feel like the Cars franchise is kind of not one of the crown jewels.
It's not been active
in the box office.
Despicable Me has been an active franchise.
The Cars 2 was so terrible.
Okay.
Ugh.
Do you have a number?
Oh, all right. We're doing Baby Driver, all right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I will do.
Jason says 96 for Despicable Me. Woo!
Wow.
Binget says 90 to 100. Wow. Okay.
Man.
Well,
So what do you think about that, Neil? With those hot predictions floating around, do you want
but
to
then Courtney
revise your
goes
estimate?
35. And Brian says 65. Wow, it's all over the board. Love it, guys.
35 for Despicable Me 3? No way.
Yeah, actually, I was about to say I agree with Brian. My number for Despicable Me is 65.
Cool?
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
You ready?
So 65. All right. Yeah, okay. All right. Ready? Kari Lane? Okay, let's go. What do we have here? For Baby Driver? 40 million? Holy cow. I love it. Kari Lane shot for the stars, everybody. I went with 14.
I thought I'm like, oh, this is going to be really high.
Holy
That's okay.
shnikes. I love it. I love
If
it.
I put it at number 2.
Yeah, swinging for the fences.
You know.
I like that.
Neil, what's your number?
35 myself.
Ah, see?
Oh, man. All right. Yikes.
Yeah,
But honestly, I probably should have just guessed like 100 billion because I'm going to go see it anyway.
I know. Yeah, Alvin, I know. Crazy numbers. I think I maybe had thought to go lower to like 20, but...
But no, I love it when you get when you swing big. It's always my favorite time. Kari Lane. Yes.
But then when I'm right, it's like it's like, see?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, Baby Driver could just nail it. It could come in at 39, 41, and Kari Lane's gonna be like,
wait, you only had 14?
14.
If I got 25, I'm like almost. Well, then maybe. Yeah, I want that like right over the middle between us.
So yes, well, since I'm blacking it as number 3 now, I feel like I'm gonna knock it down a little bit more. But it'll be interesting to see.
Well, I actually think word of mouth might drive Baby Driver's weekend up, and that might be why they opened on a Wednesday.
Yes.
Because it was originally supposed to come out in August, but after the high acceptance it got at South by Southwest back in February, they decided to push it to June 28th, a Wednesday. So I think they might be banking on some word of mouth coming off Wednesdays and Thursdays, or even some Tuesday midnight shows. So I don't know. I mean, it's possible. I believe that Kari and I are definitely in the deep end of what it could make.
Sure.
But I don't think it's impossible.
Well, all right. Let's focus on seeing other films this weekend, folks. Let's go see stuff.
I was gonna say this coming up weekend's Anime Expo. I'm not watching any movies unless they're at the convention.
Sarah Brock says, did either of you use that GIF this week?
I didn't use it, but I liked it. And I showed it to you.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved it. Yes.
It was like what?
That's right.
I forget what
Thank
it was.
you so much for
exactly,
making that. That was great.
It was super
I thought it was
adorable.
awesome. Yes. And real quick before we tie up, I mean, one of the big news stories this week in terms of films was seeing Lord and Miller taken off of the Han Solo solo film.
Right? It's like,
and Ron Howard stepping in to direct very late into the process. So,
I mean, even if you have someone good coming in, it's still one of those like, but, yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess from the stories, at least we're saying that they were trying to add more improvisation into Lawrence Kasdan's script, which Lawrence Kasdan and at least Kathleen Kennedy were like, no, Han Solo's not really a comedic character. He's more of a,
He's more comedic as the straight character of like playing the foil to it, Yeah. He has comedic lines though.
He does.
But I think he says it more. He's funny because he's serious.
Yeah.
Kind of. I mean, he's not.
I think we find them funny, but I think he's being incredibly serious when he says them.
Exactly.
But what do you think of Ron Howard as a replacement for this?
I think it's great.
You think so?
Could it work?
I mean,
I don't think that the pair could have. I mean, they're from 21 Jump Street and stuff, right?
And the Lego Movie.
Yeah, I mean, the Lego Movie was really good.
Yeah.
But that's the sort of. That's the thing. I mean, when they say it's creative differences, I believe it's creative differences. I think they have a completely different direction that they wanted to take Han Solo, and I think Ron Howard will stick closer to like that sort of old. I mean, Han sort of feels like an old Western kind of character.
I like Alvin saying Han Solo is sarcastic. Yeah, and that's where it's funny because he's saying it in a sarcastic way. I think he's a mix though. I think he understands when he's being funny because he'll say something and he's like saying it, not necessarily for like a laugh, but witty. He's smart. He's very intelligent with what he's saying.
Yeah, I mean, Ron Howard's got a long ties with Lucasfilm and stuff like that, so I could see, I could see why they went with him. But I'll be curious just how much. I mean, they've shut down production until July, so he's got a few weeks to kind of figure out what the game plan is, what's usable, what's been shot, and then what they need to reshoot to kind of get it back towards its original intent. It seems like. But I don't know. It's very interesting because the idea is like, do you hire like a Lord and Miller?
Yeah.
If you've done your research, the kind of films that they make and what they're bringing to the table.
Right.
Do you want? I feel like you hire them because you want them to bring their sensibility into your project. Mm-hmm. But I feel like it's the same thing like with Edgar Wright and Marvel with Ant-Man. Yep. Maybe the same thing we're seeing here is where, it's if you're bringing in these directors, don't you want them to show their voice, or do you want them to stick very much closer to what the corporate people want out of these franchises?
I like this. Jason says, directors are directors for a reason. They make a film in their vision. Yes, I would agree from my experience of directing. But yeah, because it's your story and you would pick someone because they do a particular style.
And I feel like the Lord and Miller, like maybe Han Solo wasn't the right vehicle in a Star Wars universe, but if you wanted to do a comedic take with some nice emotion in it, maybe it would have worked better with original characters in the Star Wars universe. Maybe that would have been a choice than using somebody that's so beloved and so entrenched in a lot of people's minds about what that character is.
Yeah.
With Han Solo.
Or do it like Rogue One, where it's more like, here are events we all know about, but here's some characters you don't know.
Yeah.
Like that, it's like Star Wars historical fiction. You know, you're taking things we already know and events in place, and then just be like, well, here's the other people you don't know about.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be a good way to do it.
Because, I mean, certainly with, I feel like, and I'll be curious to see how Black Panther is, because that certainly just looks
That
like
trailer looks so good.
It looks like a nice little fresh approach
Yes.
to some of the Marvel films,
Yep.
to a Marvel universe. But I also feel like you start seeing that with James Gunn in the second Guardians of the Galaxy film.
Right,
Just a little bit more of the loosening up. You get to see more of James Gunn's personality showing through.
Yep.
So I feel like maybe Marvel is starting to lean towards, hey, let's see what these directors we bring in can bring to these films. But I feel like separating, I think Marvel is different than Star Wars in terms of what you want out of those films.
What you're expecting. Sure. That too.
Yeah. So, Neil, you've been quiet during all this. Do you have any parting thoughts?
Well, I think directors are definitely in charge of the mood of a movie, but there's a thing in filmmaking called the Auteur Theory, which is basically that the directors can be like the sole creator of a movie based on their vision, and there's a reason why it's a theory, because it's not quite true, or it hasn't been proven at least. People come close, but no one director is completely in charge of the movie that they're making. So I feel like whether that be like a Lord and Miller could have done better, or Howard not being able to perform, I think it's moot. I think they just need someone to just grab the reins of this already moving train and try and get it into the station.
Oh, look at that. Reins and a train. I love it all. I loved how you brought that all together, Neil.
You're
Thank
welcome,
you.
Frank.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know you all thought at the beginning of the episode, there's no way they can get to the end of this episode. But we did it. We did it.
We survived.
Yeah, we did it again.
You all survived as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of another episode of Box Office Breakdown. But the fun does not stop here. It just gets started. You can like us on Facebook. Give us those 5 stars on iTunes. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Double thumb it up. Be a Kari Lane. Give it not just 1, but 2 thumbs up if you can. And thanks again, as always, folks. We can never say it enough how much we appreciate each and every one of you for hopping in the chat every single week. That they make the show so much more fun to do.
Yes.
And if you want to continue the conversation with us even after the show's over, Kari Lane, in addition to Anime Expo and following all your adventures that are going to be happening, where else can they find you?
Yes, you can find me online at Kari D Lane. That's KARIDLANE. And yes, Anime Expo is starting on Friday, and I will definitely be posting stuff from there. And I will be sporting some cool fashion from my friend L Royalty Clothing, which if you've seen that clothing, I did a lingerie fashion show, which is on my social media channel.
Wow. Neil Plumley, where can they find you? Other than Baby Driver on Wednesday at 8:45.
You could find me seeing Baby Driver on Wednesday at 8:45. You can also find me online everywhere at the Neil Plumley, TheNeilPlumley. I have thoughts on things. None of them are good thoughts. Follow at your own risk.
Oh, well, yeah. And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at HappyGoJackie. I wear this blue hoodie a lot, so you can see me in various photos with this blue hoodie. It's very exciting. I did a fashion shoot just wearing this blue hoodie.
All right, thanks,
alone.
guys.
No,
Good night, and thanks for watching.
Is that it? Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you back here next week with another episode of Box Office Breakdown right here in Popcorn Talk.
See ya!
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.